I remember seeing it as early as 2007. It only lasts 15 minutes. So I smoke K2 every 15 minutes, every 24 hours. The hot spot is Harlem, 125th Street. It's Brooklyn, Murder on Broadway. It's the Bronx, it's everywhere. A lot of people smoke K2. I see women in the store buying it, women with kids, older women buying it, younger women, white, black, Spanish. This is not a black or Spanish drug. Everybody's using it. I'm actually just getting out of the hospital last night from having a K2 incident. And it's so dangerous, as you can see. They prescribed me all of these medications. Yeah, I vomited, threw up on myself last night. Felt like I had some saliva deep down in me and I was trying to cough it up. I tried to blow my nose because I couldn't breathe. Blood was coming out of my nose.
He wasn't the only one that ended up going to the hospital behind it, you know, and it was like back to back, like it was no more than 5 minutes apart. Like everybody just kept falling out, the blood that was involved and all the vomiting.
Sometimes it'll give you back muscle spasms, like you just literally cannot move. Like it's just, K2 is like, it gets you high and it opens up a door in your brain. And it's like, it's scary because it's like your body is on autopilot doing whatever it wants.
This is the effect of K2 in our community. We need more rehabilitation centers to take care of this problem.
This man almost walked into traffic and got hit.
All the stores, they sell it, they make a killing off of it, and they don't care. They just caught a $10 million bust in the Bronx.
In this investigation, more than 200 kilograms of chemicals, plus approximately 275,000 packets.
The governor actually put forth an executive order, which he amended recently, which really only allows law enforcement to impose a $500 fine on any grocery store or bodega or convenience store or anyone.
You can get 3 times as more of it for half the price, which was $5. They shot it back up to $10 now. They may have hustlers on the street and they go to them and they tell them to sell it like it's drugs. I really do want to get help, but I just don't know where to start. There's no help out here for me. They knew that it was going to have this effect on people. They just tried to make the strongest thing, the cheapest thing as possible to make them as fast as money as possible, and that's what they did. But it also left an epidemic out here. It's like a war zone out here.
Synthetic marijuana, commonly referred to as spice, is legally sold through a loophole in the justice system, claiming to mimic the effects of marijuana. However, it is more closely related to and effects of crack cocaine. According to the U.S. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, in 2011 alone, 11,400 emergency room visits occurred in New York, directly linked to the use of synthetic marijuana. The legal distribution of this potentially deadly substance is marketed to teens and the homeless, posing a major threat to anyone involved. Due to the prohibition of marijuana and low price, synthetic versions of untested chemicals, supposedly mimicking THC, the active drug in regular marijuana, is being sold legally in America with devastating consequences. Synthetic cannabinoids have many names such as K2, spice, and synthetic marijuana. However, all of these have the same deadly effects. Despite its name, synthetic marijuana is not similar to organic devil's lettuce in any way. The background with synthetic marijuana is chemicals are mass-produced in China or other Asian countries. These chemicals are sprayed onto dried herbs to resemble the texture and color of regular marijuana. This concoction is eventually sold for very little to the U.S. and is available to anybody to buy. No legal penalty for possessing, selling, or using synthetic marijuana as long as that batch is technically still legal. Another reason for the spike of the use in popularity is the extreme low price in comparison to real marijuana. It is estimated that synthetic marijuana is up to 5 times cheaper per gram than marijuana. Synthetic marijuana manufacturers profit on the uninformed because the interest of a cheap, legal alternative to marijuana is very appealing to men. Synthetic marijuana is usually smoked, and its effects can be deadly. In fact, from January to February of this year, 15 people have died from using synthetic cannabinoids, a 3-fold increase from that period in 2014. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention say the effects of synthetic marijuana can differ between specific batches of synthetic marijuana depending on which chemical was used, but usually the effects can result in high blood pressure in the stroke range, muscle tremors, nausea, vomiting, brain damage, kidney failure, and extreme rapid heart rate, usually in the heart attack range, are all attributed to synthetic marijuana. In 2012 alone, 16 cases of severe kidney damage and failure can be attributed to the chemical XLR11, an active ingredient in most synthetic marijuanas. Users also develop a very strong addiction similar to a heroin addiction. Attempting to break this addiction can hold cold chills, sweating, and vomiting, and is very hard to break. Despite the many health concerns attributed to synthetic marijuana exists in a legal loophole where there is no legal penalty for selling synthetic marijuana. The U.S.'s current laws on spice consist of a lengthy process where synthetic marijuana producers alter the chemical structure of THC slightly and sell their untested product as herbal incense, and labeled not for human consumption. This leads the government to investigate the specific substance to see if it violates laws against drugs. When the DEA eventually classifies the drug as illegal, the producers cease production of that specific batch, technically doing nothing illegal. The producers then alter that specific banned substance slightly and repackage new chemical free of consequences. As the DEA continues to ban synthetic cannabinoids, these drugs are slowly drifting further away from the chemical structure of THC, making these untested substances potentially deadly. Moreover, synthetic marijuana is growing in popularity due to excellent marketing to lure young adults into using synthetic marijuana. Manufacturers make synthetic marijuana packages very colorful using names of cartoon characters to draw potential users. Some example of companies using their product include Spice, AK-47, and Scooby Snacks. The product placement has worked so well that in a 2012 government survey, 1 out of every 9 high school seniors in America have tried and used synthetic cannabinoids, making synthetic marijuana the second most commonly used drug for high schoolers, only second to marijuana. The colorful packages, the fact that the drug is legal, and the abundance of places to buy from makes marijuana a quote-unquote perfect drug for uninformed young adults. The second demographic that synthetic marijuana manufacturers target is the homeless population. In recent times, a surge of the use of it in homeless shelters has occurred, according to City Council Speaker Melissa Mark Vierto of New York City. The availability, the price, and the fact that synthetic marijuana is technically legal has caused a spike in the homeless shelters. Many users claim that they use synthetic marijuana in an attempt to self-medicate themselves. One homeless man who suffers from Parkinson's disease says, "Sometimes it calms the twitching down, sometimes it makes it worse." Another homeless user said, "If I weren't on it, I might be angry. I might be hitting her," in reference to his girlfriend. "Who knows what I would be up to? This stuff makes me calm." This brings up the point that the mental health has an effect on who uses synthetic marijuana. It seems one commonality between most homeless users is that they use synthetic marijuana as an escape from their bleak reality. For just $1, one can purchase a joint from a convenience store and have a temporary escape for their lives from 1 to 8 hours. All things considered, both citizens and lawmakers are weighing possible solutions to try to fix the synthetic marijuana epidemic in America. One solution that has been thrown around is to end the sale of synthetic cannabinoids by legalizing natural cannabis. By legalizing cannabis, there would be no need to buy a substance that claims to mimic cannabis, because it would be legal to buy the relatively safe natural marijuana. This proposal can be supported by facts, such as the states where synthetic marijuana is most present are the states where cannabis is illegal. The most popular state for synthetic marijuana is New York, where cannabis is classified as a Schedule I drug. There is virtually no market in states such as Washington and Colorado where recreational use of marijuana is decriminalized. Possibly the simplest way to stop the use of synthetic marijuana is to close the legal loophole that synthetic cannabinoids sits in now. One of the reasons why synthetic marijuana is becoming more prevalent is its availability due to the ineffective way our legal system processes individual strains of synthetic cannabinoids. Rather than processing each drug individually, a ban on all substances that claim to mimic the effect of marijuana would encourage less users to go out and try synthetic marijuana. Another way that we could help to eliminate synthetic marijuana is by educating both adults and the youth of its dangers. People need to be educated because right now, most people see the substance as a safe recreational drug because it is legal. However, if we educate people on its dangers, people would think twice about trying or using synthetic marijuana. This would lead to less people of all ages being able to purchase the drug, potentially ending deaths, life-ending injuries, and addiction that comes with using synthetic marijuana.